So Elon Musk just said, whoever said that money can't buy happiness really knew what they were talking about. Now we need to understand there's a hierarchy that happens in your experience of living. Okay? There are some things that your entire everything else is in your experience is subject to. There are things that govern the very life that you live. There's some things that govern over anything else that you do, anything else that you have in life. If I asked you to draw a pyramid or a hierarchy, and I asked you, what came first? Money, the work you do, the house you live in, your money, whatever, or existence? What comes first? The money you have or the fact that you exist? So we need to understand, respect, and know how to use this hierarchy. There is a certain hierarchy, and we need to respect and understand and know how to use this hierarchy. Nothing you have, nothing you do will ever come before the fact that you exist. Therefore, you should never leave who you are and your experience in the hand of secondary things. Yes, you may consider them important. Yes, you may consider that there are things that you should do and roles that you need to fulfill. Okay, that's a different conversation. But still, you need to respect, understand, and know how to use this hierarchy. That's why the primary connection you should be working on, or you should at least strive to build and nurture and cultivate, is a connection with your existence itself. The fact that you exist here with nothing else. That is the primary thing. That is the very thing that inside of your experience comes before anything else. And then you will be respecting the natural hierarchy of life. And then things are going to work in a order. You see? In order. Order doesn't only mean coherence and organization. It also means in an order, in a certain order, in a certain hierarchy of importance, right? If I'm going to build a house and I start by the roof instead of starting from the foundation, I don't have a house. I can't even build a house. The house will start collapsing before I put the first tiles because I'm not respecting the hierarchy. So your existence is the main thing you have. Not only it is the main thing you have, it is from where everything else emerges from. Everything else comes secondary to that. So you should never be bonded with what you do or what you have. You should only be connected with this existence. You don't change the experience of living. You don't improve your experience, or you cannot enhance your experience or improve your experience of existing by focusing on the experienced, on what is being experienced. You focus on the experiencer, which is the very essence, the very consciousness of you. That's how you respect the hierarchy. And that's how all the pieces that were lost in the board and out of place, they start falling exactly into the right place when you respect the hierarchy. But we've been trained to disrespect the hierarchy. How do you do it then? You were trained to forget essentially who you are and forget the hierarchy and forget that you first exist and then you do things and then you have things and then you have money and then that's it, because there's an experiencer before the money. There's an experiencer before the work, before the thing you do, before the people that are around you, even before your family. There's an experiencer. And if I neglect this experiencer, then everything else that comes from it, everything else that emerges from it, everything else that is secondary to that gets distorted. And I sacrifice the entire experience because I'm not working and I'm not understanding the hierarchy. And I'm not understanding that everything comes first from the experiencer, right? So we should learn how to connect with the first thing, existence itself, nothing else. And if I don't learn, if I don't give space and time of my day to work on this, then how can I enhance everything else that comes from it? How do I expect to be a master over my emotions instead of making a mess and a confusion out of everything? How can I expect that I'm going to enjoy the money or enjoy whatever else may be if I'm not working in the tool of enjoyment itself, the vessel that is capable of enjoying or not enjoying, that is capable of enhancing your experience or destroying it. The very vessel that is responsible or capable of extracting and connecting to reality as it is and all the miracles that come from it, instead of ignoring everything else and basically sacrificing all of that experience and not being able to extract any of it. That's why the money doesn't buy happiness. These things are secondary, tertiary. First, who is the experiencer? Is that experiencer able or primed to enjoy everything else? And funny enough, when this experiencer becomes prioritized, when I start prioritizing the hierarchy and I start working first in the experiencer himself or herself, and I start respecting the hierarchy and working within the hierarchy of nature, and I focus on existence first and then everything else, then, funny enough, you can have $0 and you can enjoy the same way. You can have $1 billion and you can enjoy just as deep, because $0 and $1 billion or a quadrillion dollars or no house or a simple house or a mansion, they only give you horizontal, latitudinal experience. They give you more options. You can go to this restaurant, or you can go to that restaurant, or you can go to this restaurant. They give you a horizontal range of experience, but they don't give you a vertical depth of experience. They don't give you a vertical profoundness, a vertical richness of experience. Okay? They don't give you an enhancement in your perception, in your senses, in your understanding, in your nervous system, in your mental patterns, your thinking patterns. You just become, you don't respect the hierarchy, so everything gets out of place. Everything. Your thoughts, your emotions, everything. Everything is intrinsically connected. Everything emerges. Every single thing in existence emerges from existence itself. So the only thing you can do, and certainly the best, utmost important, paramount thing that you can do, is connect with the only thing that is existence itself first. And by connecting to that, every single thing that emerges from it, which is everything else in your life, every single other thing, also becomes more aligned, more connected. And then it clicks, and then it makes sense. And now you feel like you got everything, even if you don't have nothing, instead of feeling like you have nothing but having everything. Do you understand? Let's respect the natural flow of life, the natural flow of existence that starts with existence itself.